Testing. Hello?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Jason and I are coming from you live inside the truck today.
So 2 new things today. Inside the truck and in the afternoon.
Yes.
I don't know how this will go. It might go really badly.
I'll tell you right now, when I play Magic the Gathering in the afternoon, I lose every game. So here, you want to hand me that notebook and get that out of here? So let's hope that my performance goes way down in the afternoon. So we'll see how this goes.
I know I suggested this, and I knew when I suggested it that you weren't going to be at peak.
Yeah.
You said peak for you is 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
Peak creativity.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah, but I was going to
suggest the same thing?
I was also going to suggest the same
all right.
thing. So we were on the same way. You guys, I'm not turning the AC off in the truck, so you guys might hear that. You're just going to have to live with it. Is what it is. Somebody is calling me. Valid number, call from... I think I know what that is. I told that person to call this morning, and they did not. They made their bed. They will now lie in it.
Sorry. Did you have a topic for today?
Well, I was going to bring up how we didn't have a topic for today.
Oh, okay.
But I do have one thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Which I don't know that we can fill an hour with it, but maybe it'll spawn enough.
Maybe we'll just do like 3 20-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Just mini episodes.
Yeah.
And then we won't have to record for like a month.
Yeah.
We'll get it all out of the way.
Yeah, just con all 15 of our listeners out of.
Our MLAs will be like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. I only have to work 1/3 of the way. Yeah, I did math, see?
Yeah.
20 minutes is 1/3 of an hour. I knew that.
Uh-huh.
The one thing that I thought of to talk about today is the rampant, dude. So, I've been on Instagram a lot more recently.
Yes.
And one of the things that I have been hit with a lot is ads for alcohol alternatives. And
ads for alcohol alternatives?
Yes, ads for alcohol alternatives.
Example, i.e.?
I don't know the name of them, but there's just like, it's basically just taking mushrooms.
Okay.
Like
they're hallucinogens?
Yes. You just distill mushrooms down, really into a liquid, I guess, and then put it in a carbonated drink in like a microdosed amount. But it made me it spiraled. So I got into this. I started looking into it. I was like, this is crazy. Why would somebody is this? I knew microdosing was a thing. Like I knew that like young Austinite, young professional people are like doing this microdosing thing. I was unaware that people were doing it apparently it's endemic to young people right now.
Okay.
Like young, well-to-do, yuppie white kids are not even like white kids, but just like well-to-do metropolitan my people.
Okay.
Are constantly microdosing mushrooms all the time. Like all day, all night mushrooms. So they're taking, for those of you who don't know what that means, it means that there's like almost an infinite number of companies now that make these compounds that are Sorry, a person just texted me and said, I'm ready for our call.
That makes one of you.
Yeah, that makes one of us. Yeah. The one thing about being a salesperson is that you are like ruthless with other salespeople doing bad jobs with like being on time to stuff.
This is another salesperson who's trying.
It's a sales call.
Oh, okay.
And I gave this person my time, or said I was going to give them my time. Friday, I told them to reach out to me Friday, and then they never did.
Okay.
And then they texted me Friday night and were like, "Hey, I've got time now. If you want to if you want to talk now, we can talk now, or we can talk tomorrow morning, or tomorrow or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, fine. Just call me tomorrow. It's late. I don't want to deal with it now. It's like 8 p.m. So
right.
Just call me in the morning. No call. 4 p.m. now on a Saturday. Like,
nope.
Sorry.
Other things are going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't have missed that.
You missed the window.
Yeah, I wouldn't have missed the first one, let alone the second one.
Yeah.
So. But anyways, and this is probably one of these. This person reaching out to me right now is probably one of the people who's she probably is missing out on this because she's missing out on a sale because she's too busy microdosing or something. Like who knows what's going on. But anyways, the topic I wanted to bring up was this like casual, like
just being high all the time.
Yeah, like really, like it's endemic to this demographic of people, like early or late millennial. So like you, like early to mid 30s to late Zoomer or early. So late millennial, early Zoomer. So me and you. Me to our age group, basically.
Okay.
There's this like decade-long age group from like 25 to 35. Every person who works like a corporate job from like 25 to 35 is high.
Is this because then it wouldn't show up on a like drug analysis or something?
Well, I mean, I think
that one of the benefits of why this is popping up?
I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. But also, I don't think. I mean, I'm unaware of any company that does any sort of drug analysis today.
Oh, really?
Like, you don't get drug tested. Like I haven't been drug tested for a job, and I don't know.
We got drug tested every time we were in an accident.
That makes sense.
Our fault or not.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes
somebody
sense
bumped
testing.
into. I was parked in a parking lot, and this girl backs up and bumps into the wheel. Didn't even damage the ambulance, but somehow hit just our back wheel.
Yeah.
I had to get drug tested. I was like, come on, really? Come on back to the headquarters.
Oh, my
Go pee in this cup.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, I'm sure even they were like, yeah.
The supervisor was
sorry.
like, I know this is stupid, but it is policy technically.
Yes.
Gots to follow the rules, precious.
Hold on. Now I'm getting text from my wife.
Uh-oh.
This is one of the benefits of podcasting
not having
from the bunker, dude. Not having cell phone service. I was
going to say, this is really... There's people out here, too?
Yeah,
there's people. Fortunately, not very many of them, and they're not doing very interesting things.
Yes, there's some...
We're sitting in front of a food venue, and there are people out and about.
Yeah, we're at a brewery. We're at a brewery because we have a brotherhood meeting, which is like one of our... Jason started an organization between us and some of the guys at church, and we're having our bi-monthly... Is it bi-monthly? Is that the word?
I co-founded.
Okay, you co-founded. Bi-monthly, is that the word?
I think so. Every other month?
Yeah, every other month. We have a meeting every other month. So we have ours today. So instead of me driving, it's like 2 hours round trip actually to your house.
Yeah.
2 hours round trip. We just met here an hour early. Anyway, so everybody's getting high all the time.
And now you know why we're really distracted and off our game.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people. I haven't taken my sunglasses off because they're acting kind of like horse blinders a little bit. They're like cutting off my peripheral. I almost
brought mine from the show just so that I wouldn't be as distracted.
It's really effective.
Yeah.
I can't see out of the sides of my face, so
okay.
I can't see these Vietnamese guys playing pickleball over in the corner. So everybody's high. All right.
Okay.
To me, that seems crazy. Like that's insane, right? Like the first time I became like really good friends with somebody at work.
Yeah.
Like good friends. I found out that all three of them, like our little crew, all three of them would take Adderall every morning, and then they would take like Xanax, the equivalent of Xanax at night to go to sleep.
Right. So they're just living by drugs.
Yes.
Legalized meth in a pill to wake up, and then a benzo to go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
That is, to me, that just spells that shows how bad the anxiety and depression level is for the average 20 to 30-year-old in America right now.
Yeah.
Or maybe just Western culture in general. I bet Canada's probably very similar in their demographic.
I bet Canada's worse. I bet Canada's way worse.
Probably. They're a couple steps further down the line.
Dude, they're cooked. Canada's cooked. I went to Toronto this year. It was bad, man. It's so bad.
But I mean, there's enough relatability there between the two cultures. I would assume.
Yeah.
Being a primarily English-speaking North American Western society.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody's high all the time. Everybody's high because they feel bad, I guess. I mean, that's.
And well, it seems like I would assume they're just seeking for peace.
Right. They just want to break.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, I get, man. It's just...
Quieting the static in their head.
Yeah.
The constant existential dread
right.
of not knowing what happens after death and knowing that they're probably flitting away their best years, quote-unquote best years.
Right.
Their young years.
Certainly their most productive years.
Possibly. I don't know.
I guess that's true.
I disagree.
Who knows?
I think my 30s are going to be more productive than... I'm halfway through them now. And I feel like my 30s so far have been more productive on average than my 20s.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
So as far as energy levels, definitely that goes down.
Yeah.
But I think you're able to make better use of the energy you do have as you grow older.
Yeah. I think
by applying life lessons.
I think that's true. Yeah, I think you're right about
disciplining yourself in time management and all that. So obviously when you're 90, that probably dips off a little bit.
Probably because you're dead at 90. Yeah, I think it's very strange. I mean, I guess why did I bring it up? I brought it up because I want somebody to hear, if this is your thing, if this is your bag, if you're microdosing or whatever every Tuesday, or like that's whatever social sort of issue that you have that's causing you to do this, or I don't know, man. Whatever your pattern is with it, I want you to know it's weird. It's messed up that you're doing that. It's not normal. You should be worried about it. Well, you shouldn't be worried about it, but you should stop for sure. You shouldn't live in a space of like just completely altered. Like you should even, I think you should even take time off like caffeine and stuff, you know? Like to just like have your mind be totally different from how it would be neutral.
From being stimulated or sedated in one way or another?
One way or the other. You're like, I mean, listen, coffee in the morning and then alcohol at night is the exact same thing as Adderall in the morning and Xanax at night. It's just it's a lower version of that. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, listen, caffeine is great. I drank some caffeine today, but I haven't, that was the first caffeine I've had in
I'm just feeling very convicted. I do drink coffee every single day.
Oh, you do?
And throughout the day.
That's fine.
Into the evening.
You drink it throughout the day into the evening?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I couldn't drink coffee.
I've done that for a long time.
I mean, I'm sure it's fine for you. Like I'm not saying crazy.
I don't know, fine, but maybe it's just my tolerance levels are so high from having
had so much
coffee.
Yeah. If I have coffee past 10 a.m., I'm not sleeping.
No,
I'm not sleeping if I have coffee at all, period. If I wake up at 6 a.m. and I have coffee at 7 a.m., I'm not sleeping. So I have coffee like once a month. I have caffeine like once a month.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
there's times when I will get jittery off of it or irritable, I've found, especially if I don't have enough water.
So
it doesn't. If I'm hydrating with coffee, I feel terrible and irritated. I'm liable to bite my children's heads off over nothing.
Yeah.
Stop that running!
I like nicotine. I would say that's my thing.
I love nicotine as well.
Yeah,
but
I haven't had any of that. Emily's cycling up, and you can't do nicotine. It makes your sperm dumb, so you have retarded kids. So I'm not on anything right now. I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking right now. I don't do any caffeine generally, and I've not had any nicotine in like 2 weeks. I'm stone cold.
Yeah.
For like 2 weeks. You should listen. If you don't go stone cold, just do it for a couple days at least. Just rest, man. Just rest your mind.
Mm-hmm. It is well,
and that's not. I'm not saying that to like coffee drinkers. I'm saying that to these kids who are microdosing hallucinogens every day. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Not that it wouldn't be a bad idea to go off of coffee for a couple days as well.
Sure.
Because dependency on anything is an addiction at some level, I would say.
Yeah.
If you quote unquote need it, or actually do need it to function, and you don't know how to function without that drug in your system, even if it is only caffeine, then that's that's being beholden to something, that is being a slave to something. And so I am a bit of a slave to coffee.
Yeah.
If if the cream is out, like, I will make a trip to the store just for the cream. The heavy whipping cream for the coffee.
Yeah.
I don't need sweeteners and stuff in it, but I do like coffee with cream in it.
I mean,
it's very, very difficult for me if there's none around. So that's my problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's
and nicotine has been a problem for me.
Yeah. That's probably not that big of a deal. I mean, I've driven 20 minutes round trip to the gas station to get Zyn before. It's happened. I just ordered. I found these. The thing I gave you last time.
Yeah.
I found
little
those
lozenge.
online. Yeah, dude. I ordered a ton of them. I ordered them in bulk.
Did you see my expression? I lit up on that.
Yeah, dude. They're so good, man. They're so good. And I'm even kind of excited about the break I've taken from them, the nicotine lozenges, just because
when you go back,
I'm gonna love it again, dude. It's gonna be such a kick in the pants.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sharp as a whistle on that stuff, dude. Like a whip.
Yeah, that gave a crazy amount of focus and energy to me for like the first 20 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's why I talked about, it was that paramedic death talk.
Yes.
That's why I went on that. And I was like,
dude.
What is it, 20 minutes in already?
Yeah.
What happened to the time?
Yeah, dude, your face was so intensely focused on
I tried to communicate it to you through hand gestures
you
while
did?
I was talking.
At first, I didn't understand what you were
like, what
doing.
is he going on about? He's like, oh, he's talking. He's excited about the lozenge.
Yeah. I was like, I knew he'd like this. Yeah. They're not that expensive, too, dude. You can get like 10 of them for $50.
Yeah.
And in each 10 is like, I think, like 15 lozenges.
But if you depended on those, if you were having those all the time, that's kind of like microdosing too. Like, I've got to hit this just so I can focus, just so I can stay awake.
Right. You just got to keep one in your mouth at all times.
Right.
Yeah.
The people who there was a paramedic, middle-aged lady who just like loudmouth smacked nicotine gum all the time. 100% of the time, just mashing nicotine gum.
Oh my goodness!
I think she smoked off shift. You could never smell it. Probably she perfumed enough that you couldn't smell it, but
which is its own problem.
It's its own problem. If you Febreze cigarette smoke away, have you ever known people like that?
Yes.
Who like spritz themselves with Febreze afterwards?
Oh my gosh!
That's a terrible combination.
Dude, I had this.
I hate Febreze.
Yes, I had at my first ever sales job, which was at the company GoDaddy.
No, really?
Oh, dude, it was so bad. It was so bad, this job.
They had such gross commercials.
Yeah. Well, by the time I worked there, those commercials were done away with.
Oh, okay. They were considered.
Yeah, you got to remember, I'm not even 30 yet. So, like, when those commercials were on, like, I remember seeing them, but I was young. I was little. Like, I wasn't even in, I think I was not even in middle school. But anyways, I had this job at GoDaddy, and, bro, I mean, I would drive to downtown Austin. I'd get in the parking garage where I was supposed to park. I'd pay $5 a day to park, just so I didn't have to walk like 6 blocks.
Right.
And I would just sit there and I'd just cry for a second before I would get out of my car and go into my job. It was terrible. And I had this lady who sat next to me. She wasn't a lady. She was a girl. She was like, maybe even younger than me. But she had this real Squidward face. She looked like
long and thin. Is that what you mean by Squidward?
No, I mean she had just like a saggy nose.
No.
She was like 22, and she was shaped like the female Alvin the Chipmunks chick, the blue one, the little pudgy one.
Poor girl.
Yeah, and she was like that tall and that shape. This is just this little butterball. And she sat next to me, and she had these reflectors that she put on her desk that were like on these arms that set over her like umbrellas to reflect the LED light off of her face because it gave her a headache.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Which, I mean, I have sympathy for because that happened to me, but I just dealt with it like a man. Like I just had a headache.
Oh, okay. One might say she was working smarter.
one might if you didn't hate her.
Okay. I thought this was going down a path of she was pitiful in some way.
No. She
made
deserved
herself
every
loathsome?
bit of my yes.
Okay.
Yes, dude.
And her physical attractiveness was unfortunately in step with her personality.
Yes, yeah. It was one of those physiognomy types where her inner soul reflected very greatly.
That's
in her
too bad because there are some very heavier women that I've found very attractive simply because they're such a lovely person.
Ah, yes.
You know? And you're like, whatever.
Yeah,
You're 250 pounds, but you're so sweet.
250 pounds? Dang.
I don't know. It depends on the frame.
That's a pretty sweet girl.
Is it?
What is her frame, dude? Is she a mechagon? Is she a high?
An Amazon?
No. What's
an Amazon warrior?
What's the mech suits from? Is she a Gundam? Is that her frame?
Gundam.
She's 100 feet tall. 250 pounds. She better be 100 feet tall.
So I went high because I didn't want to go lower, and then
sound like
really fat 150.
Yeah.
Something, because I don't know really. I don't know what. One thing I'll tell you is that we had to estimate patients' weight.
Yeah.
To put it on the paperwork form. Actually, no, we had to estimate it because our electronic charts wouldn't accept. They wouldn't submit. You couldn't submit them without putting a weight in there.
Okay.
And I never asked. Nobody ever asked
the
patient. Well, maybe some people did, just weirdos, but I would.
You just eyeball it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had like a system. It's like average weight women, I put at 150 of like an average height and weight.
Yeah.
And then average height weight guy was like 170, 180.
Yeah.
And then a little heftier guy, 220 or 210. And then it was the really overweight people, it was just stacking it by 50s or 100s. You're like, I don't know.
Depending
350.
That's good, dude. I like that.
So I kind of had a system by the end.
So this girl
super
was,
fragile old grannies were 90 to me.
Yeah. Of course, they're all
and
90.
little tiny girls.
Yeah. All 90 pounds. So this girl was like 200 pounds probably, even though she was really short. And she would spritz constantly.
Oh, with Febreze?
Yeah. Yes. All the time, every day, constantly. Pss, 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 pss. It hit me.
This is to.
Bro, I had conflict. We had to have mediation between us.
Really?
Because I'd be like, "Would you stop that?" And I was so cruel to her. And I was not. First of all, I was not that cruel to her. I shouldn't have said that. I was being hyperbolic. I was getting into the moment. I was not cruel to her. I know. I got a good story after I finish this. We had to have mediation because she would interrupt me often. When I was praying in the morning at my desk.
Really?
She would interrupt me and like ask me questions and stuff, and I'd be like, "Hey, sorry, I'm praying. Can you give me a second? I'll answer that in a second." And she would just, she'd be like, "Oh, okay, whatever," and then like go back to it. But it'd be like every day, I'd be like, "Lady, my hands are folded, my head is in my lap."
Yeah.
Like, what do you? I'm in the same position every day, at the same time, and that's what I said to her. I was like, "What's your face?" I'm not going to say her name, but I don't even think I remember her name. But I was like, "Hey, I'm doing. It's the same thing, every day. If my hands are folded, don't talk." Everyone else here knows that I'm like a devout Christian who prays at my desk and stuff. Everyone else like is respectful of me and my space and of that aspect of my life. What problem do you have with this? Why are you doing this?
Was it just cluelessness?
I think she just needed validation, and the way she got that validation was through getting people's attention. It was like proof that she existed or something. But this story, I was going to tell this story because a while ago you suggested that we open up with the stories.
And so we're going to close those stories now?
We
talked about addiction.
We're only 25 minutes in.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we're not even anywhere close to closing. We're halfway there.
You could make it a 5-minute story and we could do 2 30-minute episodes.
I don't want to do... That would be 3 30-minute episodes in a row. Because our last one was...
our last one was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll scrounge up a second topic then.
Yeah.
After your story.
Yeah.
I'll just be over here thinking really hard.
Okay. So... I was in high school, all right? Now, remember this story, I'm a bad guy in this story. Okay? It's a funny story, but it's at my expense. So I was in high school, okay, and I was not a good person in high school. I wasn't saved. I was I don't think I was an alcoholic, but I certainly had a substance abuse problem. Like, I don't think I am an addict. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not, but I certainly did have problems with substance abuse back in the day, and it was during this time.
Okay.
Like, I would drink in class and like smoke weed before school, and like, that's the mindset. All right, that's the mindset.
That's the
like,
Ethan that was then
mischievous
in this story.
Yeah, mischievous, juvenile retard. Excellent catch, incredible catch.
Did I turn it off?
Nope.
Okay.
Looks good. So mischievous, juvenile, retard. Okay, I have an art class now. The way that this art class works, there are these desks, and they're not individual desks. They're tables, and they're high top tables, and they're big rectangles. They're probably like 5 feet by 3 feet, and then you sit 2 students per table. All right.
Okay.
There's 3 or 4 rows of them. I'm in one of the middle rows. This girl that I like is on my left. All my friends, she's in the same friend group. They're all sitting to my left. Okay, so I'm turning to my left to talk to them. I walk in. I'm directly I have English directly across from this classroom, so I just walk right over. I'm the first one in the room every time, and I sit down, and my friends come in, and I start talking to them from the left. The girl that sits next to me comes in. I never pay attention to her. She comes in, whatever, and this routine goes on from the beginning of the year for, I don't know, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. And so I'm talking to my friends, whatever, and cutting up, and the class is very not serious. Our teacher likes me. Our teacher he's a cool guy. He's a coach. And so we get it done. I do like try, I'm not like I think he's a cool teacher. So I'm trying my best, but I'm not a painter. I'm not a sketch artist. That's not my bag. So
not thriving in the class.
Yeah. He always gave me B's. He was like, "This is pretty good. I know you're trying, so I'll give you a B."
Right. Yeah.
So the point is that I'm looking to my left the whole time. All my attention in the class is to my left.
Right.
This girl sits to my right. Okay. Now, one day, the first time
the girl to your right you don't pay attention to?
Right. The girl to my right, I'm not paying attention.
The girl to the left you'd like.
Is the girl that I like, right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm hitting on her all day, talking to my friends to my left. Everything's to my left.
Uh-huh.
This girl sitting to my right, we never talk. I don't see her anywhere else really in school. Anything like that's going on, all right? But she sits next to me. And one day she asks me, she's like, "Hey, will you grab that whatever?" And turns to me. So she's like turned all the way looking at me. And she goes, "Hey, will you grab this whatever thing?" And I turn and look at her, and it caught me so off guard, dude. She had her right arm was a dinosaur arm.
Oh,
like shriveled up dinosaur arm with 3 fingers on it.
Yeah.
And I was so not prepared to see a dinosaur arm. I turned around, I looked at her, and I went, "Holy f***," and jumped. And I went, "Oh shit," like that. like jumped and really was not ready for it at all. And she obviously burst into tears and ran from the classroom.
Oh no!
yeah. And I was like,
I thought you said this was a funny story.
This is funny.
So sad.
It's very funny. It's very funny.
This is making me
I knew you
sad.
I knew you were gonna be sad. I knew this was gonna make you sad. This is a funny story. And
you're like, our listeners will like this.
Yeah.
Jason's
the
gonna
guy, my half of our listeners will like this. Your half will think I'm a dickhead who this is sad. This isn't funny.
We're with Jason, and it's not funny.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah. I was homeschooled, and I don't like this. I chased after her, and I was incredibly apologetic.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Well, you said you were the bad guy in this.
I mean, I was the bad guy. It's a terrible thing to do to somebody.
Accidentally. That you were startled.
Yeah, but if I wasn't such an attention seeker, class clown, I would have not been in the headspace. I would have kept my surprise to myself. And maybe she would have registered my response on my face, but at least she wouldn't have been like publicly humiliated by me being like, ah! Like outwardly shocked.
It was that obvious that you were shocked by the arm and not just by
what else
talked
could
to?
Oh my gosh, there's a person that's been next to me this whole time. Yeah, I mean, I was right in the middle of I was literally like, ha ha ha, yeah, he did say that. What's up? Oh shit! Like, it was like that, dude. It's not good. There was no way out of that one.
Poor thing.
Yeah, so I just got up. I chased after her, and I was very apologetic. And
how'd the rest of the class go?
That day, or just in general?
The rest of the year.
The rest of the year, the class went well.
Semester or whatever.
The semester.
Did she come back?
Well, I dropped out, so she won. I dropped out that semester.
As just to show how genuine my apology is, I'm going to drop the class.
No, I dropped out of school.
Oh, out of school.
Yeah, I dropped out of high school.
Because of her.
Yeah, no. Well, because I like drugs, but okay. Yeah. Turns out it's way easier to do drugs all day if you're not in class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah.
No, I skipped. When you're homeschooled, you don't have the option to skip class.
Yeah.
They notice when you're gone.
I bet. I bet, dude. I bet they're pissed.
No, but like once I went to community college after that for a bit.
Yeah.
And I was very diligent about going to class up until a certain point, and there was a couple of, I think they were just art classes that I was skipping.
Yeah.
I was interested in graphic design, and so I was taking art classes.
Yeah.
So I very much like, I'm not like a Bob Ross painter.
Yeah.
But I like design, and so it was like, one of them was like a color theory class and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, and just
I did not know that
design.
about you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
No, I was going to be a graphic designer.
Really?
That was my interest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do like animations and stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
This was all like not even prerequisites. They were just art classes because I was interested in art.
Ah, okay.
I did a like black and white charcoal drawing still life class.
Yes.
That was my favorite.
Okay.
It was just, you were just for like 2 or 3 hours just working on your own piece in one spot. You'd choose your spot in the classroom around the still life that they had set up, and then your easel sat there the whole class while you worked on that.
You just
project.
drew some guy's penis with.
No, still lifes, not nudes. Never did a nude.
What's a still life?
A still life is like a piece of fruit.
Oh,
that's a still life.
Okay. Oh, because
you're
it's like
drawing
a life
something that is not moving or not live or animate.
Okay.
So they would set up, like, there was like a leather briefcase and a glass jar and other interesting things on a table in the center of the room, and so you'd go around until you found a spot, a composition that you liked and wanted to draw from that position.
Okay.
So you say, I'm going to be right here because I like how this kind of works.
Yes.
And then you would just draw what was there.
Okay.
In black and white pencil, or no, charcoal. So charcoal pencils and white pencil.
Yes. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down now.
Yeah.
Nice.
The coolest, I think, being able to draw metal or glass is the coolest thing. Because all you're doing is drawing. You don't try and draw the outline of a cup or a glass that's metal. You break it down into lights and darks.
Ah.
And then all you're doing is coloring the shapes of lights and darks.
Yeah.
And once you've done that, it's somehow
it takes
a
shape.
metal container has appeared on your paper.
That's pretty cool.
Really cool.
That is very cool.
That was my favorite thing. There was a couple of pieces of metal, like a metal jug and a glass jar, and it's like you're just drawing reflections, but you're not trying to draw a reflection.
Right.
You just had to simplify it in your mind and say, all I'm looking for is the lights and darks.
Ah.
So there's like one part may look like zebra stripes of light and dark, and you're like, this is not how a cup looks.
Right. Yeah.
But then when you're done, if you stick to it and just try to photograph it onto your paper and translate exactly what you see in little snippets, it'll eventually turn out to look just like what you're drawing.
Very interesting. Are you good at it? Are you good at...
I'll show you pictures sometime.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't done it in years.
Okay.
So I would have to sit there and do it for hours.
It's funny. There is like a.
I thought it turned out.
There's like a. There's a. What am I? How to? Emily's really like she is a painter, like actively paints and stuff like that.
Okay.
She's quite watercolor is her thing, and she's actually quite good at it.
Watercolors are beautiful.
Yeah. She's actually pretty intensely good at painting. Which funny, well, that's inside baseball. We can talk about that later. But there's like a personality type that's like into art.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, obviously, of course, there's a personality type that's into everything, but the personality type, the type of autism that gets into art is just it's such a gentle thing. There is an element,
a gentle, sensitive, a sensing and translating thing.
Yeah. Like I feel like there's like in writing, like there's obviously the sort of soft, flowery, gay writers that existed, but then also like there's many, like all the writers who I have really come to love are the the wild ones, like the rugged, I've been shot before.
Drinking problems.
Yeah. The ones with drinking problems. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I like all my writers killed themselves.
Well, not all my writers. A lot of them did, but not all of them. Hemingway definitely killed himself. Lewis didn't kill himself. Tolkien didn't kill himself. Both definitely had drinking problems.
Did they?
Dude, Tolkien. Have you seen the interview where Tolkien gets
like? I just know he smokes like crazy.
He did an interview for like 30 minutes where he like sat down and talked to this reporter, and he had a gallon jug of beer, and he killed the entire thing in 30 minutes.
Did he?
Yeah, and this is before light beer.
You know that, like, I'm pretty sure that he wrote Hobbits. You can just tell that he designed Hobbits to be what he wants to be.
Yeah, well, he said
Hobbits
that they're
are
British.
like his essence.
They're British people.
Is that
That's
what
what yeah. He's like, yeah, these are English people. There's just Hobbits are just English people.
And he's very English, apparently.
Yeah.
Because he smoked like a chimney and apparently drank like a fish.
Yeah, dude. There's an interview
also
where he's
known as a British person.
yeah, just a British person.
And just likes eating tea, all sorts of different meals that are not official.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
11 Z's and tea and second breakfast.
Yes. Yeah, dude. There's like a wonderful clip of him online being like, I don't think I have a problem with it, and I quite like beer. And he has this like gigantic, like he's got like a pint of beer. He's like, and I quite like it, and it's easy on the mind, easy on the spirit. And then he's like, and you just, you take a little gulp, and then you just
he
gulp,
like drafts
gulp,
back,
gulp, and just kills half of it, dude. It's so funny, bro. Yeah,
Mercy.
Tolkien's the man. But yeah, so to me that there is like in the types of autism that you can have, the like engineering autism, like those guys are just like, they're almost painful to be around,
Engineers are funny.
Yeah. There's engineering autism, and there's like writing autism like mine, and like getting obsessed with like
so you're
abstract.
Just substituting the word autism for personality now.
Well, just for obsession.
Obsession.
Yeah,
okay.
Obsession
with efficiency as the engineer and with expression as the artist.
Right, exactly.
Various kinds of sub-kinds of expression.
Yes.
Subtypes.
Is that Chris? That looks
it
like
appears
Chris.
to be. He always gets here early.
He does.
I think it's just so he can enjoy his pipe longer.
I think he likes to get a secret extra drink in. That's my theory.
Is it too much to ask for both?
That's a yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's a secret, dude. Though
he's pegged.
He sees us.
He doesn't care.
Yep.
He's going exactly where I would. I saw those tables over there in the shade, and I was like, I almost said, "Hey, do you want to go record in the shade?" But I was like, it's still not going to be as cool as in the car, and Ethan will want to be in the car.
Yes, that's right. I've got a big body, wide body, large body. I need to be in the vehicle.
I need to be artificially cooled.
Yes, dude. I'm a man of the technological information age. If my air isn't artificial, I'm angry, dude. I want artificial air only. I want all artificial. Dude, you know what I found the other day that I might buy? I found a notebook like this.
Yeah?
Yeah, nice. First of all, these are the best. The Luke Turum or whatever, these notebooks are the best. That's a statement of fact. That's not up for debate. If you're a writer, do yourself a favor. get you one of these. Mine's all messed up already. What the heck? That's upsetting. But I found these.
Was that from being down here in my lap?
Who knows? Who cares? It is what it is. These guys are making notebooks with stone paper. They're making paper out of stone.
Explain.
I can't.
Okay. Next.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I think they're putting like a polymer. I think they're cheating. I think it's plastic. I think they're making it with plastic. So there's like stone in it, but it's like to give it.
And you just gave them a free shout out.
No, I didn't. I didn't
liars.
tell them. Well, then I said that they're liars.
Oh,
I think it's just plastic, and then they put stone in the plastic to make it porous enough to actually take pen ink. You know what I mean?
I guess.
So, I thought it was cool for like 5 seconds, and then I found out it was polymers.
And then you're like, liars.
Yeah. Yeah. Whack. So people are doing drugs, dude. People are doing drugs casually. Like these 3 women here. That gaggle of fags that we saw earlier. Was it a girl wearing a diaper? Or was it a man wearing a diaper?
I don't know. It could have just been the underskirts of weird.
She had whack makeup on, dude. Now, that's crazy. Have you seen that recently? Like that. This is like
so it's June. It's Pride Month, and so I saw somebody in the parking lot here who had.
They're dressed like a lizard. They're just like colored in extremely bright
weird
colors.
Yeah, weird colors, short skirts, possibly a diaper under the skirt.
Yeah.
It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you were assuming that these 3 ladies were also on drugs?
I mean, it just...
Is that what
Yeah.
Is that where you were going with that?
That's where I was going with that.
These girls, they're probably on drugs. Those other ones back there.
I mean, they're probably... apparently everybody's on drugs. Everybody's microdosing.
You're just drawing this from ads that are being flung at you, though, right?
Well, no, but I looked it up.
Oh, you looked it up, so there's statistics?
Yeah, there's statistics, and then like
Pew Research has said...
Yes. It's official.
56% of late millennials and early zoomers, they're all on drugs.
Are all on drugs.
They're all microdosing on shroom beer.
Well, that and shroom beer. It's also anecdotally like, I mean, I don't know anybody outside of our friend group who isn't, I mean, I guess I know one guy outside of our friend group who isn't like an alcoholic.
See, I don't know anyone outside our friend group, so I don't know.
That's a good way to, yeah. So you have no idea,
No, I don't. My world is very closed and very...
That's so
very
nice.
happy.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
You just cut out all of this.
I'm getting more and more isolated. Yeah, I got a couple
all
more.
This dead wood that you've got.
I got a couple more weddings to go to before I never have to talk to a lot of people again. I'm joking, guys. The boys who hear this, you know I'm joking. Love you, Money Beans. I'll see you next year. They are all alcoholics for the last time, dude. They're all alcoholics, and they're all gambling addicts. And I guess, like you're right. It is like this. It's like crunch time, man. It's crazy time right now. Like everybody's so desperate to avoid how they're feeling.
Yeah. Well, because how they feel sucks.
Yeah, how they feel does suck.
It sucks how they feel because they have no stability.
Yeah.
And no assurance. There's no assurance of faith when you're an atheist or a...
agnostic. You're a functioning agnostic.
I almost just tried to say polygamous, but that has nothing to do with religion necessarily.
Necessarily, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, when you're a pagan...
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
That's a good blanket term. If you're a pagan...
Yes.
That includes atheists.
It does. Yes, when you are a pagan... You do not have. I was thinking about that on the way here, on the drive here. I was thinking about how I got hammered out of two big fat commission checks because my company. I'm leaving. I'm getting a new job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm over it. It's too much. I gotta get out of finance.
Okay.
It's just bad. It's getting real bad, man. Hey, guys, let me tell you right now. I'm in finance. I've got my finger to the pulse when it comes to where money goes and how it moves. It's time to worry. All right? It's time to get as much cash as you can together and get it into something like Bitcoin, something like gold, silver. Silver's really, really safe. I feel super comfortable telling people to get into silver.
Really?
Oh yeah. Nice, cheap, easy to access. J.P. Morgan keeps the rates artificially suppressed with.
Well, that's the point. That's why I'm curious why you're recommending it if it's suppressed.
It's artificially suppressed, so you get it cheap right now. It's not. It's artificially kept cheaper than it should be right now.
Yeah.
So if you buy it,
your point is that it won't be when everything crashes. Is that the idea?
Yeah. If J.P. Morgan doesn't survive, yeah.
Okay.
If J.P. Morgan,
so we buy a lot of silver, and then we kill J.P. Morgan, whoever he is, and then we're all rich.
The original J.P. Morgan is dead.
So we don't have to worry. We already have killed him.
Time killed him.
Oh,
God killed him.
Oh, okay.
He is an evil, evil man who was killed by. I hope we don't see. I hope we don't see him. I don't. Obviously, I can't speak to the man's faith, but boy, I hope that's one I don't have to swallow. I'll shake Dahmer's hand when I get up there. Dahmer professed that he was a Christian. I'll shake his hand when I get up there. If J.P. Morgan's up there, somebody's going to hear from me.
No, they won't.
No, they won't. They won't. I'll be perfully satisfied.
You're like,
I'll be extremely happy.
Praise God.
Yes, I'll be like, thank goodness he's up here, because that means I can be up here too.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
But yeah. So the let me follow my train of thought backwards. So I was driving here and I was thinking how much. Like I got hammered out of these 2 deals.
Okay.
And they're big and like I need to build a house.
Right.
You know, like I'm trying to have a second kid. We don't have, our house is not situated such that it would be like, it's not great for 2 kids. And so we need a bigger house, or at least we need a house with walls. And so we are like, I'm on grind mode to try to get that money, and I got it, you know, I had gotten it,
right, and
I lost it to some really stupid situation, and
oof.
And so I was in the car on my way here, being like, dude, I don't understand how, like, I'm in this place where I'm trying to make financially prudent decisions about building a house and saving and investing in the future and starting a company, and where I'm going to allocate money into that, because I'm going to need I'm going to need money for hyper premium to produce stuff, and what am I going to tell people? What am I going to do myself when houses are at record high prices proportionate to wages, and everybody's just like. Normally, I would say, in a normal situation, I would say this is probably a great time to accumulate cash and wait, because eventually the other shoe is going to drop and prices will crash. Like, you have to have market correction. You can't just go up forever. But it's like a 50-50 coin flip right now, because if the people that are at the helm, if they get their way, then they're just going to, housing prices are going to keep getting worse, and they're not going to get any better. And so you should buy a house now, because it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse.
Right.
But if my theory is correct, which is that they fell asleep at the wheel, they lost control, the market got ahead of them, and now they're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, and everything's going to come down around them no matter what they do. I think that's where they're at. I think it's kind of irrefutable, but I could be wrong, you know.
No telling how long it takes to crash.
Right, exactly. How long can they keep this thing?
How long will swerve the car?
Yeah, how long is life support going to keep this thing's heart beating? So I don't know what to do. And I was thinking the amount of anxiety I would have if I couldn't get to that thought and go, I don't know what to do. The next thought I have is, good thing God does.
Yeah.
Good thing I don't have to worry about it at all, because God knows what to do.
Amen.
And then I just get to turn on music and drive here in total bliss. Like, I don't care. Like, this is going to work out.
Christ is king.
Yep. Either way, doesn't matter. All things are good. Turn on the music.
Life can be hard, but it's also short, and God's in control.
Oh, yeah, and God's in control. Man, I bet Culture Wall's about to sound really good.
Then
Turn it up.
Get eternity.
Yeah, exactly. Then we get eternity in the
and
coolest
don't have
house
to worry
of all time.
about finances.
Yeah.
You know, I used my picture of heaven when I was a kid because we're told that Christ was going to prepare a room for you.
Yeah.
And so I thought we visited a retirement facility. So it looks like basically a hotel on the inside.
Yeah.
A bunch of doors in a hallway.
Yeah.
Like an apartment building.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. So I'll get one of these.
Yeah, sick, dude. I got a
I was
couch
like,
and a
"This
TV.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'll get my own mini apartment.
What a little box, dude.
Yeah.
Sick.
And that was my mental picture of.
That's
we
funny.
were visiting an old lady named Lucille.
Yes. That's very funny. So imagine now if you're one of these kids that are our age, and you have that exact series of thoughts about the market and about not knowing whether or not you should buy a house right now.
Crippling anxiety.
And then you don't get there's no eject button.
I'd micro eject. Micro eject.
There might be some micro ejecting going on, dude. Who knows what these kids are doing these days? Who knows what they're doing these days?
I'd be microdosing too if I didn't have confidence that we would get through it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, what else do you do? I mean, you might as well. I mean, I guess you gamble and check out. You just say every time you get a little bit of cash, because that's
might as well
it.
Enjoy it.
Well, it's
have fun in the moment.
Like your only shot is to make it big, quick, because you can't make it big at all if you don't make it big quick now. The future's gone. Like there's a 50-50 chance that the future's gone.
Oh, for whatever you're into, whatever you're building for.
Yeah, like whatever your goals are, like this idea that you're going to like prosper and pass on property to your family, like all that's dead right now. And so like you would just check out, just say, hey, listen, every time I get enough cash for it to mean something potentially, I'm going to just gamble. And in between the times that I'm gambling, I'm just going to get high.
Yeah.
Crazy. So I guess that we'll wrap it up by saying
Tannen forgot something.
Not a surprise. We're watching Tannen walk across the...
As soon as he got to the door, I bet he forgot his ID.
Something. He got a new haircut. He always gets his haircut like a cop.
Are you surprised?
No. He also wears cargo pants way too much.
And Chase get his cut like the military?
Yep. Chase gets his cut like a special military, though, not just any military.
Does he really?
A specific military.
Is it?
A specific military that no longer exists. It had a flash in the pan of existence.
Okay.
It was here. It was quite effective. And then it went away.
Okay.
It's a special military.
I don't know what you're alluding to.
The Germans.
Oh, okay.
Chase has a Hitler Youth haircut. That's what I'm talking about. So the boys are here.
Means it's time for us to go.
Yeah, I think it's a good time.
Thanks
as any
for
to wrap
bearing
up.
with us in this little bit of a scattergun episode.
I think this ended up being a good episode.
On some good stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying it was bad. It's just different. It feels weird.
That's true.
To be sitting in the car.
It does feel
holding
weird
the microphone and not slouching in one of my kitchen chairs.
One of these days, we'll have a studio downtown above the brewery where it would be 30 minutes both ways for either of us.
Chase will be branch manager. Chris will be head brewer.
Yes.
Obviously.
Head brewer, editor-in-chief of Hyper Premium, headmaster of whatever school we're going to start.
Yeah.
The future's bright, baby.
Yes, sir. Build.
Hey, yes, build. Find some boys to build with. And you can find them at a church.
Yeah, start your own brotherhood.
Yes. We just had...
Get together and plan for that future that's going to be so hard and gambly.
Yes,
but you can weather it with... Hey, even if only 50% of you make it, you support the other 50%.
Exactly,
there you go,
baby.
community.
There you go, community. And if you have the discipline to not gamble and stack your acorns away in the right place, I guarantee you'll be filthy rich by the time this all ends. That's literally how it works.
Yeah, if you happen to get the right thing.
Yes, when there's blood in the street, you buy. That is the phrase. Go to church. A young man found himself some work this week at Hyper Premium from our church. So he found himself a directing job. So just wrap that deal up Friday. Had a lunch. Going to start production on on our first hyper premium project outside of Chris and I's interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we shook hands on that. Yeah. So go to church. You can find some work. That could you never know, man. That could change your life. So go to church. Accept that Christ is King of all things, including you. Find a woman. Pray very sincerely to the God that loves you. We love you. We're praying for you. Good luck. Godspeed, gentlemen.